we're heading into a part of town that is basically occupied by apartment buildings, restaurants. This is kind of like a used to be the hub, the heart of the nightlife for students. And pretty much all those really tall buildings were constructed within the last 20 years. I don't actually recognize them. This is actually beautiful apartments, and I am pretty sure they're very expensive. So, in case you didn't know, University of Michigan has a pretty good sports program. It was just 2 years ago that they won the college football championship. People love going to the games. Lots of people dream about going to the game at Michigan Stadium that can hold, I believe, somewhere around 110,000 people now. On the left is West Engineering. On the right is East Engineering building. All those buildings were probably from at least 1930s, but they got renovated recently. There used to be a kind of a bookstore that you could buy Michigan supplies. Now obviously it's a bunch of restaurants, bank. So this is the place that was always alive. And what else? That's where the most bars and restaurants used to be, on that street here. There's some of the restaurants and bars are still in existence. In fact, one of the trips, the last few months, we met somewhere a kid who used to work in one of the bars. Was called Rick's. This is kind of like a mini New York. There are some old buildings. They take them down, take them out, put the new ones in. So Good Time Charlie's was here back in the mid 90s, I'm pretty sure. They always used to be lots of students outside. On the left side in the back there's a parking structure. On the ground floor of this parking structure was the office for my security. So therefore they would park in the parking structure, and we always had to drive through here a lot. Now, this was a company that was basically like a contracting with the University of Michigan. Eventually they got rid of them, probably in the year 2005, somewhere around there. But I spent some memorable, so this is part of the Good Time Charlie's. As you can see, you have a massive area outside. It's a shame that there's not a single person on site, and I see maybe 6 people on the inside. On the left side here, there's a place. This is another Ann Arbor establishment called Rick's, or Rick's Cafe, I think. I think it was somewhere in the basement. You used to go up there, and then like this is the place where to meet people. It's from what I've heard, the last one, it was still carpet was dirty, but that hasn't changed. It was always dark in there, so you couldn't really tell that carpet was dirty. I felt like, I think I've been there several times, but it was many, many years ago. Okay, we're gonna cross the street here. I really kind of like that there's nobody in this town here, or hardly anybody. It feels like it's 3 in the morning. Brown Jack. It's a restaurant that's been in business since 1936. It's a restaurant / sports bar. That was the place I was just telling my wife where I had mozzarella sticks for the first time in my life. I used to hang out with lots of friends from South America, from Brazil and Argentina, and this is where we went to have that. Mozzarella sticks. Also, I remember once on an occasion we were in the bar, and Michigan graduates used to have this tradition. I think it was called Naked Mile. I don't know if it's still in existence. Uh, Kind of towards the end of the graduating year, or graduation from school, I think, the students would basically get naked, put the football helmets on, and run a mile. That's why it was called Naked Mile. And they would run from the Dayak all the way through here. And I remember seeing it for the first time and I was shocked. Nobody ever got arrested, I don't think. Mostly there were boys. Occasionally there were some girls. Now this massive looking place, it's called the Landmark. Never seen that place before. Right behind the fountain in the back, it is the Rackham Hall. That's like a graduate building built before World War II. Okay, on the right side here. Okay, first on this side here. That's part of the Dayak with the graduate library in the back. This is the place where I spent lots of time here. Not lots of times, but I've been here quite a few times. This is called, I believe it's Hill Auditorium on the right side. Beautiful building with beautiful columns. This place has like a performance hall. Well, here's one thing that is missing here. I hated this place with a passion. So, as I was a security guard, I had to do a certain rounds. I had to go through certain doors, leave through certain doors, especially in August. In order to enter this building, we did not go to the main entrance, but there was a side door right here, right in front of me, where those two little windows are. There used to be a side door, and there were bushes in front of it. And I remember walking at night. I never had a flashlight. I had to go to that door. And it took me a while to realize that there was always some kind of a weird noise when I was stepping into it. There were always cockroaches on this thing, and I was disgusted. After I discovered this, for a long time I would never go to that door. I would go all the way around, I wouldn't have to go in there. This is one of the most beautiful parts of the campus here as well too. The flowers, the fountain that lots of times used to be, they probably have some cameras here, used to be not damaged, but students would pour a soap in it. So there would be lots of soap. Michigan Lake is on the right side, this beautiful building. Kind of looks in a way like Michigan Union. Don't remember much about this place. I know there used to be one, kind of like a little inn or hotel. This used to be actually, there's a Target here. It says right underneath that big sign, the State Theater. That's actually Target now. It's strange. Okay, so where's this? Oh, so it's Raleigh House. I see this is a Michigan store. It's kind of nice, dude. I don't even feel stupid walking with my sticks because if I do, oh fuck it, right? Chipotle, not good like it here. I can't believe they changed the name. This is what used to be the Royal Cafe. They changed the name to Baker Cafe. That was my first coffee shop I've went to in United States. It's all like him. Oh fuck! I should have parked here. It's a little far though. And like all the memories come back to life. This is the place where my friend, what was the Ashley's, my friend who was an alcoholic, pulls up front. He says, "I'll be right back." Parks illegally, comes out in a second with 2 beers. He's like, "You want one?" Puts one between his legs and he drives me home. Those are my stories from here. And that place. Oh, I actually remember being here years ago, and I just remember I don't think I smoked anymore or something, or maybe I smoked but like limited. I came out from here. Remember, like I wanted to burn my clothes because they were so stinky from the cigarettes. Yeah, it was disgusting. It's like you know, I I do think people should be able to smoke like outdoors, but like indoors was disgusting. That Bivouac, that was the best store here in the town, wasn't it? That was like, okay, I'm going to Nichols Arcade. That was like we didn't have any indoor malls when I was growing up, right? And that's not really indoor mall, but it kind of like had this cool feeling. I've always kind of liked that place. Hey, hey, no, honey, that tobacco store is still there. Oh my God. I no, well, I'm really curious if the same guy still works there. There was a guy, he had some condition with his legs, so he would always limp. Oh yeah, this place has been here since 1963. That's quite some time, right? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Tobacco coffee sought after since 1963, and you could smoke the cigars inside. Oh yeah, and it looks like this old cool store. I mean, like, yeah. And you know what? I guess 1963 is not that old. It's not like England, right? But it's kind of. Well, so I could be walking and like talking to you on FaceTime, but I think it's better if I record shit and like make a movie into it. Okay, this is Main Street in Arbor. It's one of the coolest places to hang out here. Go for a beer, eat dinner. Back when I was growing up, there used to be a bunch of growing up. Back when I came to States and I lived in Ann Arbor, this was kind of an overpriced place where old farts would hang out because they could afford it. Young people, and I was back then in the 20s, would be hanging out in this area on South Universities where Good Time Charlie's was because that was more reasonable pricing. Here, things were always expensive, fancy, and now as I got older, I kind of like this area here. There are nicer restaurants. Looks like some nice stores like Fuel Raven. They wouldn't be in the poor part of town. And there's an art gallery that is owned by a friend of ours, or my wife actually should say. And right here on the corner was my first place of employment. There was a restaurant called Parthenon, like in Acropolis in Athens. So, oh, somebody's smoking pot again. So Parthenon was this place right here on the corner. This is where, when I came to States, I couldn't speak English enough to communicate with anybody. So I actually came here and I asked for a job in Greek because I could speak some Greek. And owner hired me. I I was working in this restaurant right on this corner, my first job, first place of employment in the United States, where the Pretzel Bell is right now. So I was working there as a busboy. Eventually I work in the cafeteria, not cafeteria, like behind the, as a cook, line cook, making gyros and sandwiches and things like this. And this place was owned by two brothers who had this place for like, good. They've had this, this guy just showed me he's riding on his electric scooter with the same camera. So this place was a place where I learned some English. This is where I met my first friends. I remember having friends from Mexico, from Honduras. So there's some great memories. I think I was making $5.25 back then in this place. No, this is early 1990. And so Main Street and around here, all the little streets are full of cool little restaurants, cool bars. Like there's a place on the corner here, it's called Old Town Tavern. That's like an establishment, it's been here for several decades that I know at least. Shockingly, I love what they've done here, where most of like just the main street here, Fleetwood Diner, that's the place where the clerk from the hotel told me to come and eat here. Because this is kind of like a Coney Island, which is like establishment for the state of Michigan. Lots of those places, Raleigh House, that's a popular place to get Michigan attire. I had a friend who lived about here somewhere. And the Ark was a very well-established restaurant. It's been here probably for decades. I know it's been here when I was living here. If you were to go straight, keep heading on Main Street, it's probably less than half a mile from here. It's Michigan Stadium. There's an ice cream place that looks good. Quite a few people with dogs outside. I love when the cities block the streets in the summer. So there's something, I think it's still going on. Oh, I see that's on the gas station out here. It's $3.50 for a gallon. And I was always probably one of the more expensive places. So it's $3.50. Palio is another restaurant that's been here for decades, and real seafood company. That's where my old friend Luis used to work here. It's amazing that some of those restaurants have been around here for at least probably 30, 40 years and longer. Which, in a scheme of, I don't know how you say it, compared to like European cities, it's nothing, I'm sure. But in this country, it's actually quite a lot. Two landmarks, I guess, in Ann Arbor. One is called the State Theater, and the other one is the Michigan Theater. I actually have to admit, I've never been inside any of them. At least I don't remember being in there. So, one of them, I think, it's actually used to be a theater. Now, let's see what's going on here. Other than homeless people sleeping outside. Best lit place in the whole city. Let's see what's playing here. Oh, that would be a cool place to come and see Naked Gun. Where do you walk by through here? It's 9:50. We're heading back to the car. Oh, I'm kind of fascinated with this establishment. I might have to come tomorrow just to try it out. It's called the Throne Bathroom. apparently the company from Washington DC came up with this idea where they kind of have like self-sustained bathrooms. This place around here, there used to be not enough bathrooms, where they put little establishment like this. It has a little storage for sewage, for water, and when you're using it, I don't even know if you have to pay for it. I would guess you have to pay for it, but you have to have the phone, I think, and then the application on the phone opens it. And basically the way it works is, if you leave a mess in the bathroom, that application somehow scans what the bathroom looks like after you leave. And if you leave the mess in the bathroom, you got bad reviews and you don't get to use it. Otherwise, the place is supposed to be nice and clean and safe, because around the Dayak used to be, when I walked around here, when I lived around here, you'd have to go to the bathroom behind a tree at night. Last time I was in Michigan, it was in this part of town, state. It was winter and it was cold, so it's good to see, even though it's hot. The temperature right now is 82, but it's still a little humid. And I guess the weather is way better than it was in San Antonio.